What is up, everyone, and welcome to the first installment ever of Coach's Corner. What I'm hoping to do with this segment is take players who have subscribed to the channel and ask questions in the comment section about the decks that I'm posting, and watch 2 or 3 of their games to provide feedback that is valuable not only to them, but anyone trying to run a deck similar to that, or just looking to learn more about Duelyst. This week's victim, so to speak, is Coma Live, and he's been running the budget Vanar deck that I posted on the Climbing on a Budget video about a week ago. He's this close to gold. I believe he's in silver 11. So we're going to watch some of his games and try to give him that boost so he can get there. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, we are getting into game number 1. So I've seen Coma do this a million times. I can already call it. He's not going to replace that extra Saber Spine Tiger. And there you go. So I don't like to have duplicates in my opening hand. There's a couple of exceptions, yes. It's nice to have maybe 2 Dispels or Blood Tier Alchemist for getting rid of artifacts, because that 1 damage to the enemy general's face. But 2 Saber Spine Tigers I don't think is going to be incredibly useful. So he opens up with Cryogenesis. That does 4 damage to a 4/3. You waste 1 point of damage that you got off that spell when you could have put down one of those Saber Spine Tigers, especially knowing that you already had 2. So I don't necessarily agree with that move, and then you give up the Mana Crystal right in front of you to Vanar to put down that taunt card. Now, I don't agree with using Aspect of the Fox there, because all you've done is you turned a 3/5 with Provoke to a 3/3, when you could have just killed it with the Snowpiercer. You could still kill it with the Snowpiercer, and then he went for Lionar's face there. You're going to lose a lot of value because now your Snowchaser, who doesn't have Infiltrate, is going to die, and the Fox Ravenger's still alive. And now the Ironcliff Guardian comes out, and you don't have that Aspect of the Fox to remove the 3/10 because you used it on a 3/5. And the 3/5 got incredible value because you spent 1 card turning him into a Fox, and then a 2nd card he killed and hasn't even died yet. He killed your Snowchaser. So he's gotten 2 cards of value. Card games like this are all about getting value. When you play a card, you want to try to at least remove one of your opponent's cards, one of their units, get 1 card out of it, and then you get great value if you get 2. So you spent the Snowchaser, that Holy Immolation is also going to get great value because it kills the Snowchaser and does 4 damage to the face and breaks the Snowpiercer. So right now, this Lionar player, Blushing Orange, is doing a great job of getting value because pretty much everything he's doing is taking out at least 1 card and then also doing damage to the enemy general's face. That Fox, for example, cost Aspect of the Fox, killed a Snowchaser, and then did 3 damage to the face. Finally, we're going to use one of those Saber Spine Tigers to get rid of the Ironcliff Guardian, but we had to put a Cryogenesis, a Tiger, and attack it with our face to get rid of it. So we lost crazy value there. This game might be close to done, especially if Lionar has more taunts or more ways to pin down Kara. Also worth pointing out that Coma hasn't replaced any cards in his hand yet. Oh, another Holy Immolation. That's going to hurt. That's going to bring him down to 2. It's not lethal yet because Lionar already moved, so he's just going to take out and give an extra draw. We draw a Provoke, a Shield Master. That's going to buy some time, but I think this game is pretty much over. And when you're so low, you want to clear the board at all costs. Playing the Sonderer there doesn't do much for you. Yeah, the idea of drawing is nice, but you have the Saber Spine that could kill, and then it's just going to get dispelled. The Saber Spine could have killed the Primus Fist there, which ultimately would have given you a little bit of board control at least. Lasting Judgment's going to go ahead and kill the Sonderer, and Primus Fist is going to end the game. So the big takeaways from this game is you need to be replacing if you don't like the cards in your hand. If they're not doing anything for you, get rid of them, because they're not going to give you any value. And don't hold on to duplicates unless you have a specific strategy in mind. With those Saber Spines, they weren't doing anything for Coma, so he was losing value. And then make sure that you're trading appropriately with your opponent. If you have a Snowpiercer and they have a card with 5 health, put on the Snowpiercer and just kill it. Don't waste time with Aspect of the Fox. Save that for some of the bigger drops in the later games so you can turn a big, beefy monster with more stats into a measly 3/3. So let's get into another game. Alright, so we're in another match. So, Koma's going against the Diamond player, Nade. I think I've actually played a few games against Nade. That's kind of just bad luck if you're a Silver player. If you get placed against the Diamonds, you can win them. No problem at all, but pretty good opening hand once again. Now see, I don't like leaving your mana crystal open. I understand wanting to save it, but all Magmar needs to do now is take 2 steps forward and can easily take that from you. And if he's got any kind of removal in his hand, he's going to be able to take care of this Jaxi no problem at all. Let's see how he chooses to handle that. If he doesn't have removal for that Jaxi, he can get decent value there, but even then, Okay, the Vindicator's just going to take the mana crystal and run. Okay. So Koma can go ahead and take out the Slither. Okay, nice. Yeah, with the Saber Spine, you can get a lot of value here. You can take out the Slither, shoot the egg. Saber Spine can take out the Taunt and still have 1 health left and block this mana crystal. Now, obviously, Magmar can walk around and play something on top of the crystal, but you've still put yourself in a pretty decent position here, and your Jaxi stays alive another turn. The more value you can get out of that mini Jaxi, the better. And you got a Primus Fist in your hand and a Razorback, so you know you can eventually buff it up and take out some of the bigger units he can play. So Magmar's going to go ahead and just attack, which means he's going to leave himself right there. Now, I think the move here is to put on that Snowpiercer and just take out the Veteran. Let's see what he decides to go with. He's going to buff up his units, which I like. Alright, so Koma's going to move away from the Veteran Slither, who's right next to his mini Jaxi. He's going to put the Snowpiercer on himself, and it looks like he's going to go for Magmar's face, yeah. And then Jaxi's... So Koma's playing this deck so aggro right now. In every game that I've watched for this video, he's gone face every single time and just ignored the board that his unit is building up. The Veteran Slither is going to come down here. He's going to take out the Healing Mystic for free. Still 2 health on him. And Magmar's going to run for the Mana Crystal and probably get a pretty decent drop here. Spirit Harvester, which is going to take out the mini Jaxi, so now you've lost that value. The Veteran still has 1 health, so that's annoying as all hell. Once again, if you take out that Veteran, shoot the egg with the Jaxi, then all of a sudden your Healing Mystic is still alive, and you take out the Spirit Harvester, you lose your mini Jaxi, but you have board control, as opposed to now your opponent does. Oh no, and then he uses Aspect of the Fox on a 4/1, a creature that you had already worked towards killing. You basically heal it 2 health. You take away 1 attack, but you give it 2 health back. Not a great use, and then he's going to get a ton of, not a ton of value, but he gets 2 cards for a Plasma Storm. Sure, it's his whole turn, but he's reestablished board control. He naturally has 4 attacks, so he can slowly whittle you down, and he sees that you only have 2 cards in your hand, and, 5 cards in his hand. Saber Spine with 4/3. Oh, and then he just leaves the unit there. I probably, instead of playing the Saber Spine right away, I would have replaced it, or replaced the Razorback to see if I can get something better, and then the War Beast is just going to come in and attack the face, get a ton of value, and this game looks like it's pretty much over. But yeah, Koma just not focusing on board control. If you have a bunch of strong units, use them. If you have a really strong artifact, use it. You need to make better use of your artifacts, of your spells, so when you get your units down, they stick to the board, and you can get a ton of value out of them, do a ton of damage to the opponent's face, etc., etc. Okay, one last game. 3 Healing Mystics. Okay, I like that replace. Get rid of 1 of the Mystics and then 1 of the higher cards. You have 2 Healing Mystics now, 2 Primus Fists. Yeah, you always want to put your 2-drop in one of these corners. Always heal the opponent, be a nice guy or gal. But yeah, I like putting it in these corners because it puts you close to that Mana Crystal. Every now and then I see somebody put their starting unit here when they're player 1. I don't like that at all. So this Saber Spine is probably just going to kill this Healing Mystic. In the case when this happens, when your opponent evenly trades with you, I like to take 2 steps forward and then block a crystal, rather than step down and take the crystal. Unless I can get value out of that crystal right away. Let's see what Koma does here. So gonna put, okay, I like this. So you're gonna put Primus Fist down and get Snow Chaser in infiltrate range. Or not. Okay, so we're going to use another Healing Mystic who doesn't get its opening gambit. It's okay to play Healing Mystic and Primus Fist without getting their opening gambit, but you had an alternate play there. You could play the Snow Chaser and do the same damage to the face. I mean, sure, the Healing Mystic doesn't die, but I don't think I love that play. Using Cryogenesis to get rid of the Azurt Lion is okay. Now you've got some Snow Chasers, but instead he's going to use it to buff them. I don't hate that move, although you could have taken 2 steps forward, placed a Snow Chaser down on the Mana Crystal. Sure, you run the risk of losing it, but you're going to block Lionar anyways. You get that Mana Crystal, you get the buff, and you get 1 extra creature on the board. I think I like that play better. Doesn't matter, Lionar's going to use Tempest to clear the board, so maybe that wasn't the right play if he was expecting that Tempest was in the hand, which is a fair read by Coma, but Tempest still gets great value there, getting 2 cards. I don't love Torrid playing a Saber Spine and not using it. Yeah, Coma's going to get great value here with the Dancing Blades, a 5/7 on the board. Oh, he chooses just to kill it so he can get his taunt down, which I like, and then he can place a Snow Chaser on the other side, kind of block Lionar in. Really good move by Coma. Pin down a Lionar with his own favorite ability, Provoke. Well, I guess second to Zeal. Gets a Provoke down. Holy Immolation is going to be able to kill it, but that's going to cost him a card, and this Snow Chaser is going to be able to take out. Oh, nice. Yeah, he still has the Dancing Blades. So he's going to go. This is an improvement from the last game where he didn't use this. He didn't use his Bloodborne spell before playing the Dancing Blades. Uses the Bloodborne spell, plays Dancing Blades, gets great value. Coma's doing a lot of things right in this game. Now he's got a 6/8 on the board where Lionar has nothing. He's got an Aspect of the Fox in his hand. Amazing. Snowpiercer, also good for removal. And that Aspect of the Fox is about to be insanely beneficial because you don't want to deal with that second sun. That's a lot of damage and you only have 12 health. Now here, I replace one of your cards. You're not going to use Primus Fist, right? Like, it's more than likely not going to happen this game. It could get you to lethal, I guess. Either a Snow Chaser or a Primus Fist. Get rid of it. See what else you can draw from your deck. Decent here. He's going to remove the Fox. Runs out of mana, so can't get his last Snow Chaser down. And kind of pins him in a way where he's going to run away from the Dancing Blades. I think I would have actually... Oh, Grandmaster Zier. That'll make this game interesting. He's got a lot of damage on the board right now. Oh, perfect. See, and he replaces it, and he gets the Chromatic Cold Dispel card so he can win the game. Like, that's the power of replacing, my friend. Every time you replace, you open up the chance to win. And then he's just going to concede because he knows they lost the game. So great by Coma. Finally, it's like he heard me through the video, even though it's not live yet. He replaces, and he gets the Dispel, and he gets the win as a result. That's what you have to do. And look at that. That was a good player that Coma beat, who had legendary cards in his deck, because we saw it with the Zier. And this is a budget deck. It only has rares and commons in it, and he was able to beat him. So yes, you can climb with these budget decks, but you have to play them properly. You have to get value. And I think this Kara deck is a great way to climb, because you can get crazy value just off her Bloodborne spell. And you don't need legendary cards to use a Bloodborne spell. Anyways, great game by Coma, really cleaned up a lot. Still not perfect, but definitely getting better. And I have no doubt in my mind in the next couple days, this guy's gonna get gold. Thank you all so much for checking out the first episode of Coach's Corner. If you want to be featured on a future episode, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and post a comment in the section below. And much love to you.